Oluchi, a beautiful mother of four adorable children, all girls, married to Ikenna, who always treats her like a trash. Constant cursing, beating, and arguments are the norms in her family. Her husband, Ikenna, humiliates, disgraces, and berates her in public without any remorse. All these toxic attitudes of Ikenna are being supported by his mother Mgbafo. In fact, she is his biggest cheerleader. Right from the onset of her marriage to her husband, her mother-in-law Mgbafo have never really liked her. She have always hated her because Oluchi was never her choice. Mgbafo joined hands with her son Ikenna to make Oluchi's life a living nightmare. Since Oluchi got married to her husband Ikenna, she have never had any time for herself or even a space to breathe, as Ikenna made sure to impregnate her every year. Now that she have four girls, her mother-in-law and her husband Ikenna are making life a living hell for Oluchi. Her mother-in-law Mgbafo urged her son Ikenna to marry a second wife who will give him sons. Poor her. Where will she go? Whom will she run to? She have 8 younger siblings and her parents are poor. That is the reason why she continues to endure all the terrible things they have been doing to her. Her daughters are not left out. Both their father, Ikenna, and their grandmother treated them the same way they treat their mother. Oluchi is a hard-working woman who sells fish at the local market in their village. She single-handedly takes care of her 4 beautiful daughters without any help from their father Ikenna. People turn and laugh at her since the people she called family made her marriage an open book. One day, as Oluchi was coming back home from the market, she saw her neighbors gathered in her compound. Immediately her children saw her, they ran to her and started telling her how their father beat their sister Ifeoma, who is her eldest daughter, until she fainted because she dared to challenge him for bringing in another woman home. That was when it occurred to her that her husband Ikenna have married a second wife. Immediately her husband noticed that she have come home, he threw their bags out and ordered her to take her miserable daughters and their bags and leave his compound immediately. She begged him, neighbors pleaded with him to let them stay till morning, but he insisted that they must leave that night. One of her neighbors offered for them to stay in her house till the next morning. Oluchi picked her belongings and left the next morning with her children to a neighboring village where her best friend lives. She continued her fish business and was very successful. Oluchi and her daughters lived so well as a single parent with no husband. She was comfortable and even built her own house. Men who witnessed her success started coming for her hand in marriage, both single and married men, but she ignored them and focused on her business and her daughters. But only one man touched her heart, Mr. Udo. He is a widower from Amaraku village. He has only one son from his late wife called Chidi, who in turn is her daughter's friend. He loves and protects and takes care of them like an older brother would. Oluchi's children sees him like a brother too. The feelings and connections she had for Mr. Ude came from the bond between their children. Both of them are shy to express how they feel for each other, and their children wished for them to be together so that they can become a real family. When their children noticed that they really loved each other, they made a plan to bring them to express their feelings. One night, as Oluchi and her 4 daughters finished having dinner and was getting ready to go to bed, Chidi, Mr. Udo's son, ran into Oluchi's house, panting heavily. He told them that his father, Mr. Udo, is seriously sick and pleaded with her to go help his father, as his father asked to see her. Oluchi, with a heavy heart, ran to see her love. On getting to Mr. Udo's house, she was shocked to see him sitting on a chair, enjoying his roasted corn and peas. She shouted and said, "Papa Chidi, I thought you are sick. Mr. Udo was surprised and asked who told her. Oluchi, with a teary eyes, told him it was his son Chidi. She narrated how it happened, immediately embarrassed him, and said, "My heart left my body as I ran to your house. I'm so happy to see that you are okay." Mr. Udo was so ecstatic as he clung to her and they held each other tightly. Suddenly, Mr. Udo proclaimed, "I love you. I have been in love with you from the very moment I set my eyes on you. Your kind heart, resilience, fighting spirit, your hard work, determination, and most importantly, how you take care of your children, drawing you to me. I have always wished for us to be a family. See our children. I have started calling each other brother and sisters already. Let's make it a reality for them." They both laughed. "Marry me, Oluchi. I promise to be a father to them. I have already seen them as mine. Please, will you marry me, my sweetheart?" "Yes, I will marry you," said Oluchi, and they kissed. Few months later, Oluchi and Mr. Udo got married. People were surprised at how Oluchi, a single mother of four, could marry such a rich, handsome, and kind-hearted man, well-known textile dealer and one of the richest men in Amaraku. Their wedding was a star-studded event attended by kings, queens, rich men, and important dignitaries from Amaraku village and beyond. Her bride price was returned to her ex-husband Ikenna. One day, just 3 weeks after their wedding, a servant came to call her that a man wants to see her. When she came, she was shocked to see a miserable, poor-looking man in tattered clothes. Upon taking a closer look, she was surprised to see her ex-husband Ikenna. She shouted, "What are you doing here?" Immediately Ikenna saw her. She fell at her feet and started crying and begging her, "Help me, please. I have no one to run to for help. I am paying for everything I did to you and our children. My new wife ran away with everything I have, money and properties. She also beat my mother and broke her head. Now she is sick and there is no money to treat her. I never wanted to mistreat you, but it was my mother that encouraged and instigated me against you. Now we are all paying for our wickedness and misdeeds." Oluchi cried and couldn't bear to see her ex-husband in such a terrible condition. She fed him and gifted him some clothes, food items, and money, and promised to come see her ex-mother-in-law. Ikenna was shocked to receive such a kind treatment from his ex-wife. He couldn't stop crying. He has known Oluchi to be a kind-hearted and also good-natured woman, but his mother, Mgbafo, never liked her. He regretted everything he did to her and their children. As they were talking, Mr. Udo returned home with his children. Ikenna couldn't believe how beautiful and tall his daughters had grown. He called out to them, but they greeted him like a stranger and passed without taking a second look back at their biological father, Ikenna. He went home in tears and regrets. Few days later, his mother, Mgbafo, died from the injuries she sustained when his son's second wife she married for him broke her head. The end. Moral of the story: karma is real.